Before we jump into this episode, I want to take a moment to tell you about the upcoming Texas Woodworking Festival, a 2-day celebration where makers and enthusiasts come together to share their passion for the craft. Join us for a weekend filled with creativity, community, and inspiration. You'll meet tool manufacturers, furniture makers, woodworking clubs, content creators, and more, all in one place with great food and drinks, and of course, all things woodworking. It all takes place in Austin, Texas on September 26th and 27th. The festival features an education track on both Saturday and Sunday, where you'll have a chance to learn from masters of the craft. Plus, there's also a special pre-conference content creator track on Friday, September 25th. Head to TexasWoodworkingFestival.com for more details and to grab your tickets. Use code MWAP10 to get 10% off your tickets. I'll drop a link in the show notes. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, there's something for everyone at the Texas Woodworking Festival. Don't miss it. Welcome to the MWA podcast. I'm Kyle and I'm joined by my co-hosts, Sean and Jeff. On this episode, we're going to be catching up with a former co-host of the podcast, Mark Hicks. And breaking news, Mark will be an exhibitor at Handworks, and you can probably find most of us in and around his Plate 11 booth. Now, we could say how much Mark has inspired and taught us over the years, but instead we'll just ask, how's it going, Mark?
It's great, man. I'm doing great. How are you all?
We're doing great. It's
doing great.
It's fabulous to have you back on the show, and I can't wait to talk to you about what you've been doing and all that kind of good stuff. But before we do that, let's hear a word from our sponsor.
Sutherland Wells knows that exceptional craftsmanship deserves an exceptional finish. That's why they handcraft their full line of low and VOC exempt finishes and stains using the highest quality, cold-pressed, sustainably grown tung oil. Their unique polymerization process delivers the deep penetrating, grain-enhancing, non-yellowing protection of tung oil, while reducing the drying time and allowing the finish to build a beautiful, durable film. Sutherland Wells, the timeless look of traditional oil made for the modern woodworker, and use code MWA25, that's the numbers 25, for 10% off your first order.
And we'd like to thank Sutherland Wells for their sponsorship of this episode. And with that, let's give our patrons a shout out. So who do we have to thank this week?
Yep. We like to give a big shout out to our Patreon supporters. Today, we're giving that particular shout out to Kevin McMahon. Thank you, Kevin, for supporting our show. And if you, dear listener, would like to be like Kevin and support us, you can do that by going to patreon.com/MWA podcast.
Exactly. And someday we're going to be giving a shout out to one Mark Hicks.
Woohoo!
What now?
Good answer. Good answer.
Do
with
what?
That, with that, let's move on to what's in the shop. So, Sean, what are you doing in the shop? Well, actually, you're far away from here.
I'm far away from home. I'm in Southern California. So I'm doing this in just after getting out of the plant. Another site conversion. I've done a few of these now. This one was bonkers, but it was very long days. Today was about the shortest, which was only till 5 o'clock. 4:40 something. I zipped over to the hotel quickly to get here. It's just hot, and I did get out before the sun set twice to take a walk. Once was in a park that had been mostly burned by the fires when they passed through this area.
Oh, wow.
That was surreal to see.
Mm-hmm.
Like rolling hills of just nothing but brown and black, and like the signposts scarred and charred up most of their height. And then, but in the distance, not too far distance, you see these flourishing green trees in the valley. It was just really wild to kind of see the contrast. And then yesterday, went on this hike up. There's like an old tin mine trail. Not a real good trail map to be found, so I didn't go. It was like only 2.5 miles round trip, so nothing long, but just got to kind of get outside and see the California nature for a trip. That was very, very nice.
Okay, at least you didn't get stuck in the mine, and Lassie would have to come and tell us that you're stuck.
My safety.
I took a picture of it. It was like a perfect circle in the side of this hill,
Mm-hmm.
and it had like timbers the crossing, except one was missing. But I stayed about 40 feet away from it. I just took a picture of it and said, "We're good." Just kept on going. I wasn't about to. So, but no, it was all in all, not terrible. It's an interesting trip. It's my first time in California. So, all you West Coasters, you got it real. Beautiful out here.
Fantastic. Jeff, what about yourself? You got all those blades sharpened yet?
No, I haven't. I got everything out ready to sharp, to get some stuff sharp. I haven't done anything. Had my mom come in, So I took the day off. I drove to Anchorage, picked her up, and drove her back to Valdez. So I did that. But I did pick up, speaking of sharpening, I did pick up Sterling Tools came out with this cool honing guide organization kit.
Mm.
So I've been keeping all my Lee Nielsen, my honing guide, then all the jaws for those in a cigar box.
Right.
So and I can't remember when. I'll have to look on the date on the outside of those have, Lee Nielsen, they always do a nice job of actually putting the date that you purchased it or the date that it was made, which is pretty close to when you purchased it. So I've had it in there forever. So I was thinking about it. I was like, and the reason I keep it in a cigar box because it doesn't like get any dust on it.
Right.
Mhm.
So it was just like, because my shop gets dusty. And I thought about it. I was just like, well, I would like to take that Sterling Toolworks and kind of have it in a nice display or something, and maybe I don't know, build a box around it or something. Then I thought about that. Then I was thinking maybe I should get rid of I built that nice tool chest I have against my workbench, get rid of that, and then maybe do a whole tool wall, the French cleats and everything, and then make that where, most things that, put the hand plates. It just, that space right there, it looks nice, that tool chest, but I kind of digress a little bit, but it would be that did get me to think a little bit more about my organization, how to make things look a little bit nicer. That's still that little that honing guide and everything for it, and the way he made it, I was like, that's really cool. That's really nice looking.
Yeah.
Got everything right there, so I like that a lot.
And
Check that out. I just keep my honing stuff right next to my Shepton stones, just haphazardly bouncing around the floor.
well, is this something you can pack and take with you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that can pack in, and it's funny because then I picked up Mark Spagnolia had earlier this week. He had the Wind Whisperer Guild. He sold a few things, and he had a Wood River honing guide, and I actually used that one. But it's like $80, and I was like, well, I don't want to pay $80, but he had it substantially cheaper, and I picked it up from him. For a fraction of the cost. So I'll keep that one actually in Alaska. So that'll be kind of cool. So it was just like another honing guide, but it's going to stay here. So
okay, so you're just basically doubling up on all your sharpening supplies. Okay, I got you.
It's not on purpose. It's not on purpose. It's like it was. It didn't happen like that.
I bet it'd be cheaper to ship those real Japanese water stones from Japan to Alaska than it would be to Tennessee.
You know what?
Probably would.
That's not wrong.
Yeah. For Mark's benefit, some of our listeners that have been listening is that just constantly teaching classes. So when he's in Alaska, he takes all of his blades with him to sharpen them. So they're ready for the next class. So anyway, give him a hard time.
So just to sum up, you've been thinking and spending money in your shop right now. Like that's the main outcomes. Lots of thinking, lots of designing, and some money spending.
Yeah.
That's accurate. 100%.
What about
that's pretty common.
Yeah.
What about you, Kyle? What you got going on?
Actually, the last couple of days have been taking a break. I finally got all my outstanding orders done, packed, shipped out, and all these orders. I think I explained this last time. We're recording a bunch of these episodes back to back, so not a lot of times passed from one episode to the other. But I think I explained last time is a bunch of these orders caught me right between batches of jigs. So I've gotten all the jigs. Got a new batch of everything in stock now, so that's great. But it's like once you do all that and you catch up, it's like I need a break. So I've been taking the last couple of days off, but I'll get back at it tomorrow. And still got some stuff to do. I need to work on some chair stuff, and if I'm taking some stuff to Handworks, I need to work on getting all that stuff together and ready to go. But that shouldn't take too much. But with that, Mark, what have you been doing in your shop?
Mostly cleaning.
Cleaning.
Yeah, no. So I've got I'm putting together a batch of shave horse kits.
Right.
And this week, so I've been advising a scout in our troop. They're on their Eagle Scout project, and they're building a flag retirement collection box.
Oh, cool.
And so so they're coming Saturday morning to get started on gluing up the panels. And we've been talking about design and material choice, and so they went and bought some. The kid had about a $500 budget, and his dad was telling me, like, the beginning of this project, he couldn't care less. He's like, I'll just get the cheapest wood they have. I'll get some poplar. And I was just like, he went in to buy the wood and decided on walnut. So I don't know how much farther apart you can get in America with species. So he blew the entire $500. Like walnut. So the last time I bought walnut, it was like $8 a foot, and I think he paid like $12.50 for this stuff. So yeah, it's
how like how thick or how wide? I should say.
just 4/4. So it was a brand new bunk of lumber that had come in, so they got to pick through it. And so it seems like a few of the boards are fairly wide. I haven't seen it in person yet. I just saw like one snapshot. But it should be they really like it, so that's the important thing. And I like it because they're just going to be able to put clear coat on it and walk away from it. They won't have
100%.
Yeah, won't have to fuss with staining, and it's walnut, so I could actually. He's going to have a couple of other scouts each time. We're going to probably have 2 work days to get this thing done. So he'll have a couple of scouts out. So I'll have the hand plane sharpened up, and we'll try to be mindful of grain direction when we glue these panels up, so that after we plane them, after we glue them up and thickness them, we can smooth them with a hand plane and make the finishing process even easier. So we'll see how it goes. But that's this week.
Nice.
That's awesome. I'm just looking at what I can get not locally, at home, because I've got a great supplier. It looks like, if this is true and available, about 2 feet length, about 4.5 inch wide, 4/4 S4S. Yeah, like 24 inches long, 4.5 inches wide. That's only $14. So.
Okay. So that's a $14 a board. It's a little more than what we're paying. Of course, his boards are 10 feet long, and I don't know, 8 to 10 inches wide, some of them. So
okay, that's
shorts. It's like anything. You buy in smaller quantities, you pay a higher unit price. So
yeah. Wow. Well, that's pretty cool. Well, before we get started, we do occasionally have some new listeners. So someone that hasn't only been listening to us for a year or so. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into woodworking?
Well, I was raised in Southern California. My family's from this area of the Midwest. So I live in the Midwest. I was born in the Midwest, but I was raised in Southern California. Both of my grandparents, my grandfathers, either one of them was for a while a professional woodworker. Like he built cabinets, and he worked as a sort of a tradesman for the school district. So he was constantly doing all kinds of projects, and many of them were woodworking. But I didn't grow up around him until we were remodeling our home, and he came out to build all the cabinets for our home. And we had a ton of, my parents were like all about the built-in cabinet back then. So while he was there, my job was to hold the other end of the plywood as he fed it through the table saw. And so that was my sort of induction into like larger scale woodworking. My dad and I made all of the raised panel doors for those cabinets. After my grandfather went home, we would go in Riverside County and, pick through boards, bring them back, glue up panels and make doors. And that seemed to take like 5 years of our life. I don't know. It was a lot of doors. And most of I did a lot of listening and watching, but most of what I did was sand burn marks off of oak from the giant shaper heads that we were using to do these raised panel doors on little routers, And so
if only you knew about a scraper at that point in time.
Yeah, I could have made some really awesome like profiled scrapers and just go be done. Yeah, that's a good idea. Somebody should make one of those. Anyways, it should come with every set of shaper heads. Like you should get a matching scraper.
Yeah.
So I got into, like raised panels and big, traditional woodworking type stuff. And then that was my mom's dad. My father's dad was a hobbyist, and at some point he decided he was going to make violins. And this was long before the internet. He bought a little handbook, kind of like the size of these little pocket books that you see Lost Art Press selling these days.
Mm-hmm.
But this was make a violin. Like here's a little tiny handbook to make a violin, and some dude had printed it at a copy shop and bound it himself and was mailing them to people who ordered them. And my grandfather ended up making like 3 different violins, and so I got to see them. He was actually making a blog, but it was just a journal. Like it was like a photo journal. He would write about every process. He'd document it meticulously, and he would bind it up. And like with each violin came a full documentation of how it was made.
Wow.
And so I have a few of those along with one of the violins in the house here. And it's like one of these days I'll dig that out and I'll publish it, or maybe I'll try to use it to recreate my own violin. But yeah, so I got to see that and see like the 2 highly functional work on your house type woodworking, and then the do it just because you love it. Like he didn't play violin, he just really wanted to make one, wanted to rise to the challenge. And so that's where I come from. I kind of lost interest in woodworking about the time I learned how to drive a car, and picked it back up again shortly after college. I bought a house that needed a ton of work, and I bought it because of that, and that it was cheap. And started doing more construction style woodworking, and then I was actually working for a big commercial construction company as an engineer. Decided that I wanted to do woodworking for a living, and so my great uncle, which brings us full circle back to the Midwest, had a little furniture shop in the Midwest, and he wanted to retire. So we worked out a deal where I could buy it, and that eventually turned into Plate 11 woodworking. It went from furniture for the home to furniture for the shop, and then that turned into teaching, and kind of that's pretty much the story. There's a lot of details, but that's the story.
Cool. Well, that's interesting. So where in there did you start getting into chair making? Just curious.
Yeah. So let's see. It was right after the last Woodworking in America.
Okay.
I was sitting with some other tool makers, and we were pretty frustrated with what that show had become. And I think everyone was, because it no longer exists. And we said, maybe we should just go all take a vacation together instead of paying to have a booth and and not really make a bunch of money doing it. And one of those guys was Chris Keene from Sterling Toolworks, and the other is Jeff Hamilton from Hamilton Toolworks. And Chris or Jeff, one of them, they're both smarter than me, so one of them had a good idea and said, why don't we take a class together? And it wasn't the first chair class I made, but it was really like what fully cemented chair making. The very first class I took was with Jeff Lefkowitz, and it was with somebody that I had met taking a class with Christopher Schwarz, and that was a lot of fun. But I got home, and the reality of like running a woodworking business set in, and I couldn't make chairs, so it was kind of an unrealized dream. But once I got together with those guys and started making Windsor chairs, I was like, this can be faster. It doesn't have to. It was just a different process. It was a little less jig intensive, I guess. Not anymore, right, Kyle? Like you got to have jigs to make Windsor chairs, but
well,
And so we started meeting. We started meeting regularly, and so I got a chance to build a bunch of different styles of chairs, or designs. I guess they're all there's either Windsor or ladder back, or post and rung. But I decided, I was like, I think if I retire, I'd like to do it making chairs. I think that would be a fun thing to do in retirement. And at some point, I reconnected with Jeff Lefkowitz, and we had talked about me teaching a chair when I took the first class, but it just wasn't the right time. The design that he was using wasn't really available to teach to the public. He was the only one who really had permission to teach it at the time, and so it just wasn't going to work out. But later on, it did. So I said, if I was going to teach, this is a really great chair to teach. And so Jeff helped me, sort of cement the concepts in my brain. I helped him. We did a lot of editing on the on his manuals, his Boggs chair manuals together. And so, built a course for myself out of it, and he helped me launch it. And I did that for a couple of years. But the market it wasn't there enough for what I needed. So I don't teach chairs right now. So I went the other way. I retired. I guess I retired from woodworking to go work in corporate America, but I still woodwork for fun. So, and I make stuff for woodworkers still. So
there you go. Well, so what have you been doing in the corporate world, so to speak, for the last couple of years?
And this is where everybody looks at me strangely when they know what I used to do. I went to work for a software company. They're based in Boston. I'm now a data analyst. I applied for a data analyst role, but I got something different. I got something befitting 21 years of running a business, which is, here's a problem, go fix it. And that's it. So I did that for a year, and a spot opened up on the data team and I moved over. But yeah, I do. The company I work for is healthcare adjacent. We make a software and we hire workers that support people who are at risk and underserved in the healthcare system who need help navigating it. And, so we have a software product as well as sort of a human resources product that we'll get hired by insurance companies to call these people and check up on them and help them make sure that, they're getting access to care and, getting solutions to their problems in the healthcare world and in the, social needs too. So we have some customers who help people who are coming out of prison sort of, reintegrate to society and, sort of keep track of all the things that those people need to succeed in the, hopefully the next phase of their life. So that's what I do.
Well, that's cool.
I saw
it seems rewarding though. Helping the underprivileged or people that are stressed out in the healthcare system, which all of us can be from time to time. That's for sure.
Yeah. And I don't work directly with those clients. I work with the people that help them.
Yeah.
And so, but it's close enough. I mean, so people who work in social work, their life is hard. Their job is hard. And, if we can make it easier for them to document so that they can continue to get funding or whatever that needs to be, whatever the need is for documentation and management, it is rewarding to help those people succeed. So yeah, it's a good company. I enjoy working there.
Well, good.
Awesome.
Well, good.
That's very good.
That is. Congratulations, I guess.
Thank you.
I assume the pay is probably 4 times what you were doing.
I don't think 4 is enough. But yes, it is significantly better. And equally rewarding, it was a very hard decision to step away from woodworking and teaching full time. But I have a child who's very smart and will probably go to a very expensive college. And we weren't building towards that. And, woodworking skills get dusty, but they don't go away. And I thought, I can come back to this if it's not a decision I can't reverse.
Right.
And so, and the hard part was figuring out what the heck I was wanting to do. And there was a lot of so my students were very helpful in this because so many of them were retired executives from Apple and Chick-fil-A and Tyson Foods. And so I called them up. I said, we spent a week together. You got to know me pretty well. What do you think I'd be good at? And they all had opinions, but it kind of coalesced around data analytics. And really what I decided was I like solving problems. That was the most important thing to me, was to have problems to solve, new problems, interesting problems. And once I was able to kind of wrap my head around that, there's a lot of jobs where you can just solve problems for people. And the thing that I learned about woodworking is the best way to make a living in woodworking is to solve one problem and to use that solution as frequently as possible. And my brain is not built for that. I wither under repetitive tasks. So I need to have new things to figure out. So, it was shooting myself in the foot over and over again. I find a way to build a workbench really efficiently. And then after I do that about 10 times, I'm ready to do something else. And, so this job keeps me stocked up with novel problems. So yeah, it's working out pretty well.
That's
great.
really cool. You actually, you're making me want to go to data analytics. 'Cause that's a whole lot of what I do.
Yeah.
A whole.
Yeah.
I'm here because we're converting a company to a different company, and we switched over a network that is running a software that they wrote 20 years ago. And I got comments like, "Do you know where?" Of course you do. How can you? Of course you can. I got their engineers, like, they know me by name now. They're like, "Well, because you know this, you got to know this, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do." So a whole lot of problem solving in a very technological way, and then down even into the production side. I mean, this what they produce is very detailed, very very detailed, and working through their PLCs and everything. Like, I'm able to understand and diagnose, and yeah, it's a good skill set to have.
Yeah. I think problem solving is always good. It's always
Yeah,
a
100%.
useful and valuable skill.
Yes.
Yep.
So.
Yes.
Yeah. I did the same thing when I was employed back in the day before I retired. People ask me, "What do you do?" I go, "I'm the chief firefighter."
Yep.
I'm in charge of putting out fires.
That's it.
That's basically all we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The COO calls me his favorite bench player. Like, he's a massive Red Sox fan.
Yeah.
And he's like, when we have something that needs to get done, and like, it's weird or it's new or no one has quite been able to solve it before, like, we'll just let you do it. We'll just point you at it. So I pick up special projects from time to time, and my years of teaching are very helpful when it comes time to take something that an engineer has explained and rearrange it into something that the board needs to understand, right? So breaking down technical stuff and turning it into, just sort of everyday language, small steps, easy to digest information is, one of the things I've had to do when I teach. So yeah, it was tough convincing myself that I was qualified to do something else. But once I figured it out, it became a lot easier. So
cool.
That is cool. That is cool. And then of course we got Jeff, who, he's working for a company that pays him for a full month for only 2 weeks worth of work.
Yeah.
How about that?
If you're really good at it, you only have to work 2 weeks.
That's what I'm working for, man. I'm working that way. I'm going to be like, let's not give me a pay raise. Let's give me an extra day off every month.
Yeah.
How about that?
My wife said that a long time ago. My goal is to work less and
That's right.
100%.
I'm happy to make the same. And just work less. That's fine too.
Work less. Yep. That also equates. Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, so how's Plate 11 going? Has it been slowly churning in the background, or?
I wouldn't say churning, just sort of like drifting. It's I still sell shave horse kits.
Okay.
I get inquiries. Are
you still the king of the Moxon Springs?
No, I don't know. I think somebody in Canada took that away from me. But I do sell Moxon Springs. I do sell the shave horse kits. I get inquiries about workbenches and shave horses, but I just, once you step out the door of that shop and you realize like how many things have been falling apart around you, like things that you should have been keeping up with, but you're too busy running a business 60 hours or 70 or 80 hours a week. It's very hard to get back to work on that stuff, but it'll come. I get a report of the videos that people are watching on my site, and somebody's weaving a chair seat. Like I can see based on the videos, like, this person's halfway through a shave horse build, and so I keep up with it, and I'm woefully behind on like website updates. Like there's a lot of messages on my site that need to be fixed, but people are like, yeah, do you have kits in stock? It says they'll be in stock in May of 2025. And I'm like, yeah, I've got them in stock. Like, like I'll ship it this week. It's nice. I still get emails from people who had just finished their shave horses and want to share pictures. And somebody last week from Australia who said they'd ordered a kit 3 years ago and they were totally like overwhelmed by how hard they thought it was going to be, and then they realized that there was videos online like how to do it step by step, and so she was really excited to finish that project after putting it off for so long. And so yeah, it's fun. I still enjoy the people, and enjoy all the furniture that I've made, like, over the years too. Like, our table is surrounded by chairs that we built. So yeah,
That's
it's fun.
nice. Well, do you still have are you still selling video subscription type things or
I'm
not?
not.
Okay.
I'm kind of on the fence of what to do with that stuff.
Okay.
There are a few people who took the class that have access to it. After I started working, it was really hard for me to do, a full week's worth of video conferencing and then do it again at night, once or twice a week for a few hours. So, I finished up the classes that I had, and I haven't booked any more, but I have all this great content. And so, one of these days maybe we can talk about this at Handworks. We can figure out a scheme by which that content becomes available again. But I have students that contact me from time to time asking questions, and I answer those, but no real official teaching at this point.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I think we can come up with something. Yeah. You need some passive income is what you need there, Mark.
There it is.
Yeah, well, so the business is at this weird, so I'm finally starting to understand the concept of inventory turn and cash flow, because the overhead costs of my business are equal to the cash flow now. So it's like, it just bumps along and doesn't do anything. And every once in a while I have to buy like $3,000 worth of adjusters so that I can, drill them and buff them and all that stuff. And there's just barely enough money there to do that. I'm like, this is not a good plan, and I don't use social media anymore. So I'm not posting anything. I'm not advertising. I'm not doing anything. The videos are on YouTube out there. And that I think that's probably where most of my business comes from, is people see a video, they watch a few of them, they're like, oh, I could build that,
Yeah.
There you go.
And or some mention in a book by Christopher Schwartz, which is such a strange thing to think about. But it's a weird state of limbo. Something, I should do something. I feel a little guilty that I haven't done more with it, but time and energy.
Understood. Well, so what are your plans for Handworks then?
I'll have kits.
Okay.
I'll have a kit spread out so people can kind of see what's in it, what it's like. I'm actually bringing up, so I have a lot of extra tools from teaching. So there are a few of them that I'm gonna probably sell, like a garage sale thing.
Okay.
Not a ton of stuff. I've got a low angle jack from Lee Valley, low angle smoother, some extra blades for those, maybe some chisel, some like Lee Nielsen socket chisels that I've had, and just duplicates, things that I don't need two of anymore. My son likes woodworking, but not as much as like rock climbing and sailing and playing the French horn. So
Sure.
if he decides he wants to do woodworking someday, we'll get him some new tools. But so I don't need extra sets anymore. But and then I'm just be hanging out, man. I'm gonna be visiting with the people that I haven't seen in years and didn't get to see at the last Handworks because I was too busy like grinding in the booth. And just enjoying the weekend.
Yeah, sounds.
I'll
like
have a few
plan.
T-shirts too. I'll have some T-shirts, not a ton, but some extra larges and some mediums and smalls. So sorry if you need a large. I used them all up.
That's right. I think I might have a large if someone. we got to remember to bring our Plate 11 T-shirts, by the way.
Yeah.
Trade up. Yep.
That's right. Well, so you mentioned you're doing some woodworking, just for fun and stuff. So what kind of projects have you been doing lately?
Well, we redid the floor in my son's room this summer. So
Okay.
I have been banging my head against the cans of stain to try to match this color that the builder used on this pine or whatever they put up on the baseboards, because we need some shoe mold. We've got this huge gap under the shoe mold, or under the base mold now.
Yeah.
And I finally just gave up and took it to a paint store and said, "Can you match this, please?" And like 2 samples in, here you go. So that's that job is coming up. I've got to sand and stain all that. The most of my woodworking projects just involve like fixing something that's broken right now. I go in the house or I go out in the shop and pull out one of these amazing specialty tools that I own to do some basic little household project. And but I'm really looking forward to this Eagle Scout build. That'll be a ton of fun. And then this winter, I hope to finally build that teardrop trailer kit that I bought during the pandemic.
I remember.
It is still in cardboard, and it needs to be built because we could do some camping.
Nice.
That's pretty cool.
That is cool. Well, so what are you? I have a couple of questions here, but I think we've already answered them. One is, what are your plans for the future? I think we've gone over that. But what are you?
I want to make more chairs. I want to make more chairs too. Yeah,
make more chairs.
Yes,
I like that. What, any particular style?
Well, no. I mean, I love the box chairs, and I've got tons of great material for that, and some parts that are like bent and ready to go. I don't know. My white whale is the dolphin stolen. Is the dolphin chair from Wegner's dolphin chair.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's this amazing folding chase lounge type chair that never really made it into production. He made a bunch of prototypes, and maybe they did make a small run of them, but you just don't see them anywhere. They're really amazing organic chairs. And one of these days, I'd love to figure them out, and reverse engineer one and make it. But as far as like long-term future plans, I've been doing a lot of rock climbing and sailing, and I like to do more of that. And maybe build a boat one day, but I think my wife would kill me if I took on a project like that. But yeah, just.
Sorry. I was just looking up this dolphin folding chair by Wagner. After I got through all the folding chairs that had Miami Dolphins logos on them, finally.
So if you're searching for the chair, search dolphin stolen, which might yield some.
Well, I just put
results.
Wagner at the end of it and it popped right up. Yeah. I've seen these before. I think Caleb James once had some articles about something similar. I don't know if it's this particular chair.
He was making
similar.
a folding chair that Wegner designed.
Yeah.
But I've never seen. Of course, I'm not out there like actively looking for it right now. But I haven't seen anybody make one of these.
Yeah.
And there's some interesting brass pivoting hardware that's recessed in the inside of it.
Yeah.
And,
exactly. So
First Dibs. I downloaded like tons of images from First Dibs. So one of these days I'll put those to use.
Would you use Danish cord on that, or would you go hickory bark, or what?
I think it's a cane. Is it cane?
Yeah, it looks like
Kyle,
a cane. Yeah, I'm looking at it. It looks like a cane. Yeah.
So I got away from hickory bark when I started teaching the chairs, the box chairs, because it got really hard to find any like decent quality stuff. And I switched to splint reed and found a supplier. It was like Carolina Basket Works, I think. They had a smoked color that was a lot rougher, so it required a lot more like prep work to get it finished. But when it was done, it was really hard to tell apart visually, like from a distance from the hickory bark, and it was just so much easier to do. Like to get it and to put it on. It was, and the students responded really well to it as well. So, but I did alter the method that you use to weave like an asymmetrical chair, like trapezoidal chair seat, so that it's a lot like using hickory bark. We were tapering it from front to back. So you have like these nice continuous runs. You don't have any of these dead end short pieces on the outside edges of the chair at the front because it's wider. And so I sort of blended what I knew about using hickory bark and applied it to a different material. And I'm really happy with how it works. And it doesn't shrink, so you don't have all these big gaps. And it's a lot quieter when you sit in it. It doesn't sound like a I don't know, it just creaks. I have a hickory bark chair, and that thing is so noisy when you sit in it. But
yeah,
I'm glad I built it that way. It was good. It was a really good experience. So
yeah, what are you using, Jeff? Didn't you find something?
Yeah, just it's just basically just a paper material,
like rush, like twisted.
No, it's flat. It's just look it up at Basket Maker Supplies. So basically, to do like a Boggs rocker would probably run you about $40.
Yeah.
So the only thing that a lot of times they'll show the 5/8 paper splint is out of stock, and it looks very similar extremely similar to hickory bark. So the only thing you have to do is just call them up and tell them how much you want, and then I don't know why they always show they're out of stock on their website, but if you just call them up, be like, hey, I want X amount of, and they'll just coil it up, ship it out to you. You know,
Cool.
yeah.
It sounds like they have the same webmaster I do.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Well, what's the name of the company, or do you know offhand?
I think Basket Maker Supply. They're in Kentucky.
Okay.
So just put
Yeah.
Basket Maker Supply, and it's what you want is the 5/8 paper splint. So it'll show. Typically, it'll show it's out of stock. You call them up, and then they'll be like, "Yeah, we can get that for you, no problem." They'll have it in a couple days.
Can you cut that lengthways, like to taper it, or is it like a multiple layer that's been flattened?
I would have to try it out, but I would imagine no.
No, yeah,
Because it's it's like a paper bag almost. It's got the kind of folded edge on each side, and it's continuous. It's not like there's a seam anywhere on it.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's like a Houdini paper trick or something. So yeah, just but it's cheap enough. It's like comes out to a Boggs rocker comes out to less than $40.
Yeah,
I
imagine Splint's a little more expensive than it was when I was buying it a few years ago, but it was pretty cheap too. I mean, it was much less expensive than hickory.
Yeah.
So, and much more consistent.
And then I fooled around with doing some of the Danish cord, doing that more of a hickory bark kind of pattern, 3 under 3 over, and then that cost was pretty high. You're pushing about 190 for a seat.
Wow. Yeah, and the Danish cord wears. I don't know how well the paper splint wears, but I have a Danish cord seat in a chair that I built, and it's fuzzy. It starts to wear out after time.
I got I did the unlaced, and I just did a small stool, came out really nice. It's not like I'm sitting in it all the time or nothing, but I mean, it feels very durable, really nice. So I wouldn't mind doing more of it. It's just the cost involved, and plus weaving it back and forth. It's and then you have the change of turnings for it. So looking at it, I was just like, once you go down that route, there's no changing your mind. You've done your turnings, everything for that top rungs, it just I was like, I got to step away from this. This is too much.
Well, if the cord gets fuzzy and stuff, can you take a torch to it and burn it back or something?
That's an answer for everything.
Yes. Fill the fire and throw a torch to it.
Yeah.
Now, this stuff, it's not that kind of fuzzy. It's kind of wearing out. This was a chair that, of course, my vacation turned into a woodworking trip somehow, and I ended up getting a commission to reproduce a chair that this woman's father he was an architect, and he had designed this set of chairs. And so I was in Maine, so I ran out to my local used tool store, because they're everywhere, right? It was up near Arcadia. So there's like 2 or 3 like classic used hand tool shops up there. And I got some dividers and some tools that I could use to take decent measurements, whatever. Anyways, and came back and made a pattern, and the seat was it was actual rush, like real twisted rush, so plant. But there was one part that was Danish cord, like the back had just a little like lumbar support woven onto it that was Danish cord. And so I needed to practice, so I built 2 of them. I built one out of cherry and one, I think walnut was the material that she wanted. And I wove one seat with the Danish cord, and then tore it out and wove it again, because it didn't turn out quite the way I wanted. And that second one is the one that it was my wife's chair. Like, she sat in that chair every night for every meal that we ate at home for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. And it's just, it was soap. I finished it with soap, which is pretty standard, Danish cord finish. And it looked really great for a while, but eventually it just started getting ratty, and now the cat sits on it. Of course, that doesn't help, because the cat has her claws. But Yeah, I think that's just part of Danish cord. I think you have to cut it out once in a while and replace it. I mean, there are people who make a great living doing that. So, or maybe not a great. They make a living doing that. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I just think it's, you have to temper your expectations when you're working with something like that. It just, it does what it can until it can't do it anymore. So, but maybe I'll try the blowtorch. We'll see what happens. Okay, when my wife's not around.
Yeah. What's the worst that could happen?
Right. I mean, we even do seat, right?
Yeah.
It's part of the ebonizing process.
Exactly.
There it is.
Can you have a nice cherry? Is that the thing you can do?
No. Well,
I can char it and then just rub oil on it, and it's
I was like, what's the Japanese finishing technique?
what's the
So that is far enough out of the woodworking zeitgeist now that people forgot what it's called.
Exactly.
Okay.
I totally
Wow.
forgot. Something band, something shoshi band.
So shugiban.
Okay, I was almost there. Yes. There
I
you
still
go.
want to side a house with that, and do it. They build the they'll box like 4 of them together and set them over a fire and let the fire go up the middle, and then they splay them out and hose them down, and then they rub just basic linseed oil on it. I would love to build like a little away from the house office out of that stuff. I think it would be gorgeous. I still love it. I don't know, I never got into it because it's kind of involved, but I think it's just a great look.
Well, good. You can start with the chair and let us know how that works out.
Yep. We'll see how it goes, guys. I'll let you know.
All right. Well, fantastic. Well, it has been fabulous catching up with you. And should other people want to catch up with you, where can they find you on the interwebs?
I still have plate11.com, and I have an Instagram account. I do not use my Instagram account. So you can message me all you want, but I will not see it. So just send me an email through my website if you want to get in touch with me. So marketplate11.com is the easiest way to reach me.
Fantastic.
Perfect.
With that, let's move on to our fortnightly beer choices. And I'm just drinking the house beer Guinness.
Nice.
Jeff, what flavor of sparkling water do you have?
The Toco Chapicos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I say it wrong all the time. Yeah.
Topo Chico. Yeah.
Toco Chicos. Yeah.
Topo Chico.
Toco. Yeah. Toco Chico.
Topo.
Topo.
We'll have to have another lesson after the podcast.
Exactly. Obviously, that's the alcoholic brand of Topo Chico.
Yes, the rare, extra rare version.
Yeah. What about you, Sean?
In a hotel drinking Mick Ultra, because why not?
That's good stuff.
Why not?
Yeah, sure.
They didn't have Miller Lite. They didn't have Miller Lite.
Whatever. It's California. Maybe they don't. I didn't look too hard.
It's not allowed.
Whatever was closest to my hand, I grabbed. That is what it is. Mark, how about you, man? What do you got?
I'm drinking water, man. It's
All
a
right.
weeknight, man. I just can't handle it anymore. I'm too old.
Yeah.
Yep.
What was that we had at last woodworking? We mixed 2 beers. What was it?
That was the
Okay.
name of that blend is called Park That Dolly. Don't ask me why, but it was a blend of Smooth Criminal and Parkside Pineapple, which amazingly tastes like pineapple but has no fruit in it. It's just hops. It's just the hops that make it taste like pineapple.
Good
and
hops.
So, yeah, that's a tasty beer, but maybe
We're gonna have to
Park
run it
That
back.
Dolly, because you shouldn't be operating it once you've had one.
Yep.
It's too much.
Right.
Because that
Yeah.
Smooth Criminal is like 9%, and the Parkside was like 5 or 6. So yeah, it's a slap in the face.
Yeah. All I remember is we were really slow that Saturday at Handworks till about noon.
Uh-huh.
Well, that's why you got to mix them, because you got to cut the alcohol out. It's too much to drink the Smooth Criminal by itself. So, and you can't use anything else, right? You wouldn't make a shandy, right? Like that would be a bad thing.
No, terrible.
That's right. All right. Well, let's move on to feedback. So, Sean, what do we got?
Yeah, so from episode 618 with Wilbur Pan, our good friend, Robert Tolnice said, Wilbur is so talented and generous with his knowledge. Looking forward to hearing from him. So as long as you're going to be at Handworks, you're going to hear from Wilbur, and anyone else attending has the chance to hear from Wilbur. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, by the way, Wilbur's booth should be right across the barn from you, Mark, according to
Awesome.
Jamil.
I love Wilbur.
Yeah, I was gonna trump your road trip because Wilbur's picking me up, and we're driving the northern.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll convene.
Well, I'm gonna take.
Middle
I'm
Iowa.
taking Kyle. I'm taking Kyle to a climbing gym on the way home.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see. We're gonna see how he does.
Yes.
Oh boy.
That sounds phenomenal. Start doing those little grip things, the little springy grip things in your hands.
Yeah.
Get your pull-ups. Just do some pull-ups, Kyle. You'll be fine.
Yeah, pull-ups are good.
Okay. This is gonna be fantastic. We'll see if I can climb. My entire body height.
There it is. There it is. Good
Put you on
start.
the easy routes.
So moving on to episode 619 with John Jaffe, another great episode. User HD_Marigold said, "So cool, John." Must be a friend. That's awesome. With two clapping or a clapping emoji. Fun. Sue Hornman. Sorry, that's really hard for me to say.
Sue Bornman. It's like
Bornman.
Topo Chico all over again.
It's like Topo Chico. Just awesome! Exclamation point. Fight and Flight Feathers said, "Sick. Can't wait to listen." So I hope you did. It's a great episode. And Robert Tolnay again said, "Great interview. Neat to hear about Toolmaker's journey." Which John, that was a great episode. If you guys didn't listen to 619, and John also will be at Handworks. We're kind of stacking these up. It's going to be a fun time.
I love how the audience is so dialed into this podcast that they leave a review before they've listened to the episode. They're like, "This will be great." They know.
Purely on the name of the guest, and I'm like, "Sweet, I can't wait."
Yes. You're doing a great job with those thumbnails, Kyle. It must be it.
There it is.
Well, great. Well, we want to thank everyone, especially Mark, for coming on the episode, and we want to thank you for listening to this episode. And please leave us a review. You can hit us up on Instagram at MWA_podcast, or leave us a 5-star review on the podcatcher of your choice. And that just about wraps it up for this show. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the show on the podcatcher of your choice. Just search for the Modern Woodworkers Association. And while you're there, please leave us a review. You can follow us on Instagram at MWA_podcast. And if you'd like to support the podcast, go over to patreon.com/MWA podcast. But the best thing you can do is tell a friend. Word of mouth goes a long way in sharing our discussion.